Stop letting the world convince you that success is about exhaustion. Stop measuring your value by how tired you are, how many tasks you touch, or how many hours you burn. That is the language of the mediocre, men who chase everything and grasp nothing. The man who achieves more than the masses is not the man who spreads himself the thinnest, but the one who has the courage to focus, to cut away the unnecessary, and to become ruthless about what truly matters. If you want to change your future, you must start by changing your habits. And if you want to change your habits, you must simplify your efforts until consistency becomes inevitable. This is not a call to laziness. This is a challenge to your discipline. Can you do the essential thing every single day without fail? Can you ignore the noise and choose the one action that will move you closer to your goal, even when it feels repetitive, even when there is no applause? Most cannot, which is why most men drift and only a few build empires. The path to wealth and mastery is not paved by doing more, but by doing what matters, and doing it so often that it becomes a part of your nature. Repetition is the chisel that carves the statue of greatness from the raw stone of potential. Your progress is not determined by the size of your ambitions, but by the size of your resolve. If you want results, you must build systems that remove friction. Make it so easy to do the right thing that you can do it on your worst days. Eliminate distractions. Say no to anything that pulls you away from your chief aim. Refuse to scatter your energy. Success is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate, repeated choices. Each day, you are either moving closer to your dream or further away. There is no neutral. If you are constantly overwhelmed, it means you are making your life too complicated. Decide today. What are the few actions that, if repeated daily, would guarantee your growth and your progress? Do those, and let everything else fall away. Let go of the addiction to busyness. Do not try to impress the world with your schedule. Impress it with your results. There is a difference between movement and progress. Most people are just spinning their wheels and calling it ambition. You must be better. When you commit to less, you create space for mastery. You do not become a master by dabbling in 1,000 things. You become a master by pouring your effort into the few things that matter most until you cannot be ignored. Consistency is the real secret. Show up every day, even when you are bored, even when you are tired, even when nothing seems to be happening. The world will try to distract you, to convince you to chase new ideas, to abandon your post for something easier or more exciting. Resist. Nothing of value is built by men who quit at the first sign of discomfort. You must adopt the mindset of a builder, not a gambler. Stop hoping for big wins and start stacking small victories. Brick by brick, day by day, let your consistency build a foundation so strong that success is inevitable. Most people never realize how close they are to a breakthrough because they are always starting over. Do not fall for that trap. Discipline yourself to finish what you start. Refuse to be seduced by the temporary rush of novelty. Focus on your purpose until it yields. There is a power in simplicity. If you want to achieve more, reduce your process until it fits inside your daily life. Make it automatic. Build routines that require less willpower and more structure. Track your progress, but do not become obsessed with daily results. Judge your life by the strength of your habits, not the swings of your emotions. Progress will compound if you let it. The man who outlasts outpaces. Above all, do not give yourself the luxury of excuses. Life will hand you reasons to break your streak, to skip your habits, to delay your actions. Ignore them. No one ever built greatness on a foundation of excuses. If you fail, begin again the next day. But do not allow one missed step to become the seed of a new pattern. Interrupt failure with action. Show yourself that you can be trusted to do what you promised, not just when you feel inspired, but when you feel nothing at all. Your reputation is forged in the days when no one is watching. The world does not reward you for effort. It rewards you for outcome. But the outcome is the byproduct of doing the essential over and over until it is impossible not to succeed. When you truly understand this, you will stop chasing motivation and start building systems. You will stop wishing and start working. The men who move mountains are the men who carry stones every day, long after others have gone home. Do not misunderstand. The road will not always be thrilling. You will face moments of monotony, days when progress is invisible, nights when you question if the effort is worth it. That is when you must remember. Boredom is not your enemy. Inconsistency is. Every act of discipline, no matter how small, is a deposit in your account of character. Every repetition is proof that you control your destiny. You must become a guardian of your standards. Raise them. Hold yourself to a higher expectation than those around you. When others get comfortable, you get sharper. When they relax, you double down on your process. If you make your discipline non-negotiable, results will become automatic. Make your daily actions sacred. Do them even when no one is looking, especially when no one is looking. Do not worry about how much you can do in a week. Worry about what you can sustain for years. Short bursts of effort mean nothing if they are not sustained. The world is full of men who start strong and finish forgotten. Decide now to be the exception. Commit to the long haul. Refuse to negotiate with your excuses, your distractions, or your moods. Let your word be law to yourself. It is easy to become addicted to new beginnings, to the feeling of starting over, but that is the path of the restless and the regretful. The future belongs to those who endure, who chip away at their vision even as others lose interest. Do not be swayed by trends or the opinions of those who have achieved less than you wish to. Stand firm in your resolve. Trust the process. The law of accumulation will not fail you if you refuse to fail it. Consistency is not glamorous. You may not receive praise for your routine, but you will receive results. And in the end, results are all that matter. The world will only remember the man who finished, not the one who dabbled. Live by this principle, and you will achieve more than those who try to do everything and accomplish nothing. Make simplicity your weapon, discipline your shield, and consistency your creed. This is how you achieve more by doing less, by doing it relentlessly, until possibility becomes reality. When you hear the world tell you to do more, ask yourself, more of what? Because the great tragedy is not in doing too little, but in doing too much of the wrong thing. Most men waste their days climbing ladders placed against the wrong walls. They scatter their power, draining their spirit in dozens of directions, never stopping to ask, what, if done every day, would actually change my life? That is the question that separates the producer from the pretender. Consistency in the essential is the force that topples obstacles, bends luck to your favor, and transforms you into a man of results instead of just a man of effort. Your mind must become ruthless in its focus. You must decide right now what you will commit to mastering. Clarity is a weapon. If you refuse to choose, the world will choose for you, and it will always choose distraction. The moment you choose one clear aim and tie your identity to its relentless pursuit, you have already outpaced the majority. Do not allow yourself the comfort of indecision. Decide then commit. Let your daily rituals become the evidence of your conviction. You must not underestimate the power of compound results. Small, simple actions, repeated consistently over time, create an avalanche of progress that no burst of frantic activity can rival. The seeds you plant each day may appear invisible at first. You will want to abandon them, to try something new, to chase what looks easier or more impressive. But remember, oak trees grow slowly. Their roots run deep while the world sees nothing. Your results are germinating beneath the surface. If you stop watering them, if you dig them up in search of faster growth, you sabotage your own destiny. Resist the temptation to measure progress by what you see in the short term. Instead, measure by what you have become in the process. Are you more disciplined than yesterday? Are you more focused? Have you made your daily actions so automatic that they feel inevitable? If you answer yes, you are winning, even if the world has not yet noticed. It is the invisible victories that precede the visible ones. Mastery is built in silence long before it is celebrated in public. The world is a noisy place. You must be willing to ignore it. Your friends may mock your routine. Society will glamorize hustle and chaos, urging you to take on more than you can handle. But the man who listens to the crowd forfeits his crown. Be bold enough to be misunderstood. Choose depth over width. Build your life around a few core actions executed so well and so often that you cannot be ignored. The man who makes the greatest impact is not the one who touches everything, but the one who leaves his mark on what matters. Simplicity is not weakness, it is strength. It takes courage to admit that you are not above the basics. The fundamentals, repeated, refined, and mastered, are what separate the successful from the scattered. Do not let boredom drive you into distraction. Use boredom as a signal to sharpen your form, to seek deeper understanding, to reinforce your commitment. True greatness lies on the other side of monotony. The man who can endure the repetition, who finds satisfaction in mastery, is the one who will outlast and outperform all others. Each morning, reaffirm your purpose. Before you let the world invade your mind, remind yourself of your singular aim. Build your environment to protect your focus. Remove the temptations that threaten to steal your attention. Arrange your tools, your workspace, your routine, so that every detail points you back to your chosen task. Consistency is easier when you eliminate decision fatigue. The more you automate, the less you have to force yourself. Set up your life so that the right actions happen by default. Guard your energy. Do not give your best to what does not move you forward. Learn to say no, not out of arrogance, but out of respect for your potential. Every yes to a distraction is a no to your purpose. The cost of divided focus is invisible at first, but devastating in the end. Protect your mornings. Own your evenings. Let your schedule reflect your priorities. The man who respects his time commands respect from the world. You must make peace with slow progress. If you are improving, even by a fraction, you are moving in the right direction. Consistency will always outperform intensity. The world admires those who make a splash, but it is built by those who keep swimming long after the waters are calm. Make your efforts so regular that you no longer debate with yourself about whether you will act. You simply do what needs to be done every single day, without negotiation, without complaint. Do not expect motivation to carry you. Motivation is fleeting. It is a spark that quickly dies out in the face of resistance. Discipline is the fire that burns long after inspiration has left you. Build habits so ingrained that they happen whether you feel like it or not. On your worst days, fall back on your routine. On your best days, let those same routines propel you further. Consistency is your insurance policy against the storms of life. You will be tested. There will be days when your progress feels invisible, when you wonder if the effort is worth it. You will be tempted to abandon your path for something that promises faster results. Resist. Stay true to the process. The world rewards the finisher, not the starter. Every time you finish, you become stronger, more confident, more capable. Every streak you maintain, every habit you keep alive, is a brick in the fortress of your future. Above all, keep your promises to yourself. Your confidence is not built on what you intend to do, but on what you prove to yourself you can do day after day. Do not tolerate inconsistency. Do not allow excuses to become your identity. You are not at the mercy of your feelings. You are at the mercy of your standards. Raise them. Live up to them. If you fall, stand up and resume your commitment without hesitation. The only failure is quitting. As you become consistent, you will discover that you can achieve more by doing less. It is the paradox of greatness. Focus on less, achieve more. Do not dilute your power. Concentrate it. Channel it into the handful of actions that, repeated relentlessly, will make everything else easier or unnecessary. This is the way of the master, the architect, the man who controls his destiny. The world will try to seduce you into complexity. Decline the invitation. Remain true to your purpose, loyal to your routine, and relentless in your discipline. Only then will you unlock the power to achieve more than you ever imagined by doing less, but doing it without fail. Understand this fundamental principle. Nature does not reward the man who dabbles, who jumps from one pursuit to another in restless haste, but the man who endures, who persists in a single worthy endeavor until the results manifest with overwhelming force. The universe itself operates by laws of accumulation and momentum. It is not the single gust of wind that shapes the landscape, but the relentless current, persistent over days, years, decades, which carves valleys and moves mountains. So it is with your own destiny. Every repeated act is a stone laid in the foundation of your future. Every day you show up, especially on the days you wish you could rest, strengthens your position and deepens your mastery. Too many men sabotage their greatness by becoming slaves to novelty. They believe that success requires constant reinvention, that the newest strategy or tool will finally be the key. They abandon routines as soon as they grow dull, convinced that ease or entertainment is the true measure of value. This is the surest way to mediocrity. The path to real achievement demands devotion to a narrow set of priorities and the courage to persist through monotony. There is honor in repetition, for it is only through repetition that excellence is achieved. The musician perfects his craft not by seeking endless new songs, but by playing the same piece until it sings through his very soul. The athlete refines his skills not with hundreds of different drills, but with an unbroken discipline for the basics until they become second nature. Do not fear the routine. Embrace it. Your future depends on it. If you wish to achieve more by doing less, you must become an expert in elimination. You must strip away the unnecessary, the trivial, the distracting, until all that remains is the essential. This is not mere time management. This is life management. Review your days and ruthlessly cut out anything that does not contribute directly to your grand aim. If you find yourself busier but no closer to your vision, know that you are suffering from the disease of dilution. Power, like light, is only effective when focused. The man who disperses his energy is like a lantern in a storm, glowing faintly, failing to illuminate anything of importance. But the man who concentrates his energy is like the sun itself, capable of igniting the world. You must also understand that all true consistency begins in the mind. Before you can control your actions, you must master your thoughts. Every morning, revisit your purpose. Plant it in your consciousness until it becomes impossible to forget. If your mind is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your mind is focused, your actions will become automatic and your success inevitable. Protect your mind from negativity, from gossip, from the noise that pollutes clarity. Choose your influences carefully. The man who guards his thoughts as fiercely as his most precious treasure will find it far easier to be consistent in his actions. Let us talk of patience. The world is impatient. It chases results, seeks quick victories, and despises the slow and steady. You must reject this madness. The man who achieves lasting greatness is the one who can endure the boredom of mastery, who can keep showing up long after the crowds have given up. Results compound in silence before they are seen in public. Your greatest breakthroughs will come quietly after countless days of ordinary effort. Celebrate small progress. Recognize every victory, however minor, for it is the signpost on the road to your ultimate achievement. Be wary of the voices that will try to distract you, both outside and inside your own head. People will question your discipline, will ask why you do not join them in wasting time, in chasing every shiny opportunity. Smile and let them wonder. Do not justify your obsession with consistency to those who would rather be entertained than accomplished. Let your results speak for you. The man who consistently improves, however quietly, will eventually be the one others wish to emulate. You must also make the process enjoyable, not by seeking variety, but by deepening your appreciation for progress. Learn to love the feeling of completion, the pride that comes from keeping your promise to yourself. Set targets for your routines, track your progress, and celebrate your streaks. Every day you maintain your habit, you are not merely keeping a schedule, you are rewriting your identity as a person who finishes what he starts. Over time, this sense of accomplishment becomes addictive, and the discipline you once struggled to maintain becomes as natural as breathing. Another key: minimize friction. Reduce the steps between you and your important work. Prepare your tools the night before. Keep your environment clean and ready. Anticipate distractions and have a plan to deflect them. The more effortless it is to begin, the more likely you are to continue. Do not rely on motivation. Design your life so that action is the default. Build support systems, accountability partners, reminders, visual cues that keep you anchored to your commitments. Success is not the product of heroic willpower, but of intelligent design. Monitor your energy cycles and schedule your highest priority actions when you are strongest. Do not waste your best hours on what does not matter. Refuse to allow fatigue or discouragement to rob you of your consistency. Rest when needed, but never allow rest to become avoidance. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not talent or luck, but persistence in the right actions, no matter the circumstances. Finally, review your progress at regular intervals. Weekly or monthly, reflect honestly. Are your daily actions moving you closer to your highest vision? If not, adjust. Consistency is not rigidity. The world changes, you will grow, and your priorities may shift. What must never change is your willingness to return again and again to the habits that matter most. You are building momentum, day by day, choice by choice. Do not underestimate the quiet power of persistence. Over months and years, You will look back and realize you have accomplished more by doing less, but never failing to do it. This is the code of high achievement. Eliminate the unnecessary. Master your focus. Build unbreakable routines and persist with patience. Others will fall away, seduced by shortcuts and distractions. You, however, will remain. And when the world finally notices your success, they will call you lucky, never understanding that your fortune was built one simple, consistent act at a time. Push forward. Keep it simple. Refuse to break the chain. Your future is the sum of what you do, day after day, long after the world has forgotten. That is how you achieve more, by doing less, but never, ever giving up. The world admires the man who achieves the spectacular, but it rarely understands the simple truth beneath his triumph. Success, when you pull back the curtain, is not a miracle, but a measurement. It is the result of small disciplines, repeated with unwavering fidelity, until those disciplines transform a life from ordinary to extraordinary. The average man spends his life in pursuit of novelty, new ideas, new projects, new entertainments, chasing the rush of excitement while abandoning the slow grind of consistency. But the wise man, the man who shapes destiny, knows that the uncommon outcome is built from the common routine. If you have ever wondered why you start with enthusiasm but end in disappointment, the answer is found in your allegiance to the new, not the necessary. The world will tempt you to believe that more action, more complexity, more effort is the answer to every problem. But the more you add, the more you scatter your energy and dilute your results. Instead, the discipline to do less, but to do it with relentless regularity, is the master key. A river carves the deepest canyon, not with force, but with constancy. So too, must you direct your energy into one or two channels and allow the slow work of time to amplify your impact. You must be ruthless in protecting your essential priorities. Every day, you are assaulted by demands, distractions, and the siren call of opportunities that do not truly serve your vision. The secret is not to become busier, but to become braver. Brave enough to say no. Brave enough to turn your back on what is urgent but not important. Brave enough to trust that the daily discipline of a few right actions, done without fail, will bring greater results than the frantic hustle of 1,000 unfocused efforts. Most men will never know this power because they are too afraid of missing out, not realizing that it is by saying no to most things that you can say yes to the life you desire. The journey of doing less with greater consistency is not glamorous. There are no crowds to cheer you on when you rise each morning to repeat the same routine, no applause for your dedication when you say no to distraction for the 100th time. The rewards are quiet at first. A subtle increase in skill, a deeper sense of control, a growing confidence that you can be relied upon by yourself. Over time, these rewards accumulate and compound. The results become undeniable, and the world will call you a genius when, in truth, you were simply consistent. You must also remember to reflect and adjust. The path of consistency is not rigidity. You are not a machine, and life will occasionally test your discipline. But every setback is a teacher. Every interruption a lesson in recommitment. When you fall, do not berate yourself. Simply return to your path. The man who returns 1,000 times is still further ahead than the man who tries 1,000 different paths. Consistency is not perfection. It is the courage to begin again every day with fresh determination and unwavering belief in the eventual power of your habits. Guard your energy, for it is the fuel that powers your routine. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and rest are not luxuries, but necessities for the man who aims to achieve more with less. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot build a legacy on exhaustion. Treat your mind and body as your most valuable assets. As you simplify your commitments, you will discover reservoirs of energy you never knew you had. Energy that can be directed with laser precision toward your most important work. Understand that your reputation with yourself is the bedrock of lasting achievement. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-respect. Every time you break one, you erode it. The man who can trust himself to show up day after day is a man who becomes unstoppable. Doubt is silenced by the evidence of your own consistency. You need not wait for the world to recognize your worth. When you know that you are a man who follows through, the validation you once craved becomes irrelevant. Self-mastery precedes all other forms of success. Resist the urge to measure your progress against others. Comparison is a thief of focus and a killer of joy. The only competition that matters is the man you were yesterday. Did you honor your routines? Did you advance even a little toward your chief aim? Did you resist the pull of distraction and do what you said you would do? These are the questions that count. Over weeks, months, and years, the cumulative power of your steady, disciplined effort will far exceed the sporadic brilliance of those who lack your resolve. Be patient with results, but impatient with your daily actions. Do not wait for inspiration to strike or circumstances to become perfect. Act now, today, with whatever you have. The habit of action breeds more action, just as the habit of delay breeds more delay. Every day you show up is a victory over the forces that keep most men mediocre. As your routines become habits and your habits become identity, you will find yourself achieving more than you once thought possible by simply doing less but never failing to do it. Let every setback, every day when progress seems invisible, be a reminder that you are playing the long game. The world's greatest fortunes, inventions, and masterpieces were not built in a single act, but by men and women who understood the compounding power of consistency. Even if your progress is hidden from sight today, trust the law of accumulation. Sooner or later, your efforts will break through with explosive results. Until then, cherish the process, honor your commitment, and know that the discipline of doing less, but doing it always, will unlock more of your potential than any other strategy. As you move forward, continue to refine your routines. Seek out the few actions that bring the greatest returns and double down on them. Let go of the rest without regret. The path of the master is narrow but clear. Do not be distracted by the noise of the crowd. The world may marvel at your results, but will never understand the quiet, steady work that made them inevitable. Remain humble. Remain focused. Remember, it is not the man who does the most who wins, but the man who never quits doing what matters most. That, my friend, is how you achieve more by doing less, consistently, faithfully, relentlessly. Let us push further into the discipline of achieving more by doing less, for you are not yet at the summit. There is an invisible barrier every ambitious man encounters, the moment when monotony threatens to break his will, when the repetition of small actions seems futile. At this point, most surrender. They abandon their habits just before the compounding effect can take root. But those who persist, those who push through the dull ache of routine, unlock a force that most will never experience. This is where success is forged in silence, unseen by the world, unnoticed even by yourself until the day the harvest arrives. You must recognize that mastery is not achieved through grand gestures, but through humble repetition. You do not need to make every day dramatic, but you do need to make every day count. The key is to build a rhythm of progress so steady that it cannot help but deliver results, even if each individual step feels insignificant. Imagine the stonecutter striking his rock, one blow, then another, until the final strike shatters the stone. The world sees only the last blow, but the wise man knows that all the strikes, even the ones that appeared to do nothing, were necessary. To maintain your momentum, anchor your routines to something meaningful. Mere willpower will fail you when boredom or fatigue set in. But when your actions are connected to your vision, when every simple task is imbued with purpose, you find the strength to continue. Write your chief aim on your heart and review it daily. Let each repetition, however mundane, become an act of faith, a testament that you believe in the law of accumulation and the power of consistency. Guard your environment as fiercely as you guard your habits. Surround yourself with reminders of your commitment. Remove distractions not just from your workspace, but from your daily life. Let your friends, your reading, your conversations support the man you are becoming, not the man you are leaving behind. If you wish to do less but achieve more, you must ensure that the few things you do are of the highest value and that nothing in your environment tempts you from your path. It is not enough to have a plan. You must also have accountability. The man who answers only to himself is in constant danger of betraying his own progress. Create structures that support your discipline. Make your commitments public if necessary, or enlist the help of a partner or mentor who will hold you to your word. Keep a record of your daily actions, not as a taskmaster, but as a witness to your journey. Each mark in your ledger, each day when you keep your promise, becomes a brick in the fortress of your self-respect. Resist the temptation to constantly change direction. Every new project, every new goal is a subtle form of self-sabotage if it pulls you away from your essential routines. Consistency is not about stubbornly refusing to adapt, but about refusing to abandon the proven path for the illusion of quick rewards. You may adjust your course as you learn, but do so thoughtfully and infrequently. The man who starts and stops, pivots and reverses, never gains the momentum needed to break through. Stay the course. The world rewards those who finish what they begin. There will be times when you feel isolated, when your steady discipline seems to set you apart from those around you. Do not mistake solitude for loneliness. The path of the consistent man is often walked alone, but it leads to places the masses will never reach. Embrace the quiet power of your routines. Let the peace of knowing you are on the right path carry you through seasons of doubt and discouragement. The world is noisy with distractions, but your clarity and resolve will make you immune to their pull. Remember that consistency is a form of self-respect. Each time you honor your commitment, you send a message to your subconscious that you are a man of your word. This builds confidence not through affirmations, but through evidence. As your self-respect grows, so does your capacity for greater achievements. You begin to expect more of yourself, and your actions naturally rise to meet those expectations. The man who can trust himself becomes a man the world can trust, and trust, more than any other currency, is the foundation of all achievement. Let us consider the subtle enemies of consistency: impatience, perfectionism, and comparison. Impatience will tempt you to abandon your routines when results do not appear quickly. But remember, the most valuable changes happen slowly beneath the surface where you cannot see them. Perfectionism will demand that you do everything flawlessly, but it is better to do something imperfectly and consistently than to do nothing while you wait for the perfect moment. Comparison will seduce you to measure your progress against others, but your only competition is yourself. Judge your days by the fidelity with which you honored your commitments, not by how quickly you advanced. There is wisdom in simplifying your commitments even further as you grow. The more successful you become, the more demands will be placed on your time and energy. Guard your routines with even greater jealousy. Never let your achievements lure you into complacency. Many a man has been undone by the success he failed to maintain. True mastery is found in sustaining your discipline long after the excitement has faded and the applause has quieted. As your life begins to change, and it will, you must resist the urge to revert to old habits. Success, paradoxically, can be the greatest threat to consistency, for it tempts you to believe you are above the basic disciplines that brought you here. The wise man doubles down on his routines at the height of achievement. He knows that what is gained can be lost just as quickly if he loses sight of the fundamentals. The real victory is not in reaching a peak, but in building a life where progress never ceases. Finally, see every day as a fresh opportunity to become the man you desire to be. The secret of achieving more by doing less is not a tactic, but a philosophy, a way of living in harmony with the laws of growth and the principles of success. If you falter, forgive yourself and return to your discipline. If you succeed, remain humble and return to your discipline. The journey never ends, for the reward is not just in what you achieve, but in who you become. Let your legacy be not one of scattered brilliance, but of quiet, relentless, consistent action. This is the true mark of greatness, and it is within your power, today and every day. If you are to remember one thing as you move forward, let it be this: consistency is not merely the repetition of action, it is the demonstration of your deepest beliefs. Each day that you show up, especially when you do not feel like it, you are proving to yourself and to the universe that you are worthy of the results you seek. The man who can be counted upon to act, regardless of circumstances, builds not only results, but a reputation that magnetizes further opportunity. This is why you must refuse to break your rhythm for anything less than catastrophe. You do not negotiate with mediocrity. You do not make excuses for weakness. You live by your standards, not by your moods. You may wonder, how long must I persist? The answer is simple: until your new habits are woven so deeply into your nature that they are second nature. Until the vision you have held in your mind materializes before your eyes. Until the applause comes, if it comes at all, and even then, you do not stop. Your job is not to forecast the harvest, but to plant faithfully, water diligently, and remove the weeds of distraction and doubt. Each day you execute your routine, you compound your progress. Each day you keep your promise to yourself, you become more powerful, more trustworthy, more inevitable. There will be days when you question the purpose of it all, when monotony grates against your spirit, when the fruits of your labor seem delayed beyond all reason. This is the crucible where greatness is forged. The majority will falter at this threshold, blaming fate, talent, or luck. But you must remember that your consistency is the signal that sets you apart. Those who keep going, those who find purpose in process, those who embrace the challenge of the unremarkable day, these are the ones whom destiny singles out. The world rewards the few who refuse to give up their ground, who outlast adversity by sheer force of will. You do not need to perform heroics to create heroic results. Let others chase novelty, chase sensation, chase chaos. You pursue mastery of the mundane. You become the type of man whose name is whispered not because he dazzled in a moment, but because he endured for a lifetime. Day in, day out, your quiet discipline builds a fortress of achievement that no storm can destroy. You do not need to outshine, outsmart, or outtalk. You need only outlast. As your momentum grows, you will discover the invisible hand of compounding at work in your life. Where before you struggled for every inch, now you find progress accelerating, seemingly without extra effort. This is the harvest of your relentless sowing. Doors open, skills sharpen, relationships deepen, and opportunities gather around you, not because you sought them desperately, but because you have become the sort of person for whom they naturally appear. The world bends to the consistent. Never believe that you must do everything to achieve anything. The truth is this: a handful of right actions done faithfully will accomplish more than 1,000 scattered efforts. Define your essentials and eliminate the rest. Create rituals that insulate you from distraction and guide you almost automatically to progress. Let each morning be a recommitment, each evening a moment to take measure and prepare for another day. The man who can do less with more power is the man who conquers all. In moments when temptation arises, when the urge to abandon your discipline whispers sweet rationalizations, remind yourself that this is the price of greatness. The weak give in, the average compromise. But the extraordinary man, the one who leaves a mark, is the one who holds to his path, unmoved by the changing winds. You are not in competition with anyone but your former self. Let your only comparison be to who you were yesterday, and your only aim to become better tomorrow. Rejoice in your routines, for they are not chains, but keys. Every repetition frees you from the tyranny of inconsistency, from the chaos of undirected living. You are sculpting your character not with grand gestures, but with the daily, almost invisible act of showing up. One day the world will marvel at your results, unaware that the real work was done in the darkness, in the quiet, in the sacred repetition of your discipline. Do not wait for motivation, for it is as fickle as the wind. Build a system so robust that you move forward even on the hardest days. Let your environment, your habits, and your self-talk all conspire in your favor. If you stumble, do not waste time in regret. Stand up, recommit, and return to your process. In the end, it will not be your talent, your circumstances, or your luck that determine your destiny. It will be the relentless power of your consistency. Now, look ahead. See the man you wish to become, the life you wish to lead, the achievements you wish to claim. Know that these are not distant dreams, but inevitable outcomes if you will only do less, but do it more faithfully than any man you know. The door to greatness is not locked. It is simply heavy, and it opens to those who are willing to push and push and push again. Your legacy will not be built in a day, but brick by brick, habit by habit, step by step. Start today, and let nothing, not fear, not boredom, not the approval of others, deter you from the path. The world belongs to those who outlast. Be that man.